Namaste everyone. Thank you for listening. Today I want to talk about a topic that might be seen as red no-go zone for some people, and it might offend a few people, but I still want to talk about it. And the topic is spiritual arrogance. The belief that many spiritual type people have that they are better than these normal, oh, these unspiritual people, they're so unspiritual. Look at me, I'm spiritual. And I've been seeing this a lot in forums. And the trigger point was there were two or three, memes. Somebody shared meme. Well, the first was a meme in which it was like, oh, look at all these people, ordinary people running after materialistic stuff, after cars and houses. They don't know about the spirituality. They don't know about the peace within them. They're running after joy in the outer world. Look at them. They're so pathetic. And if you believe that, if you think that people who run after money or after sex or after relationships or after bigger houses or bigger cars are pathetic, then I'm going to ask you politely to stop thinking such idiotic thoughts, please. Yeah, this is the height of spiritual arrogance. The belief that you are better than other people just because you meditate for 2 hours a day, or unlike these idiots, you're running after cars, you're running after nirvana and spiritual enlightenment. Ooh, you're so special. Look at you. You're not special just because you meditate for 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day. And you're not better than other people who don't meditate at all. Another post I saw on Reddit, which was the top of the meditation forum, almost 1,000 upwards. He said something like, oh, my friend spends 4 hours on TikTok. He doesn't have 5 minutes to meditate. And everybody was like, yeah, you're right. You should meditate longer. Yeah. And there were some people, if you scroll down, the top, you scroll down to the bottom half of the page, and there were like 1,000 comments in there. If you scroll down, there were quite a few people saying that you should be more, you should be less judgmental and more trusting of your friend. If your friend wants to watch TikTok, that's his life, his path. Who the hell are you to tell him what to do with his life? It's his life, right? But those comments were really at the bottom. But the top comments were all like, yeah. These stupid, unspiritual people wasting their time on TikTok and watching YouTube videos. Look at them. Unlike us spiritual people, well, look at me, yeah, we're so spiritual, yeah, we spend hours meditating. Yeah, baby. And this is what I like to call spiritual arrogance. I don't know if this word is new, I've invented it or somebody else used it. I know there's this word called spiritual materialism. But this is slightly different. Spiritual arrogance is the belief that you are better than other people's because you meditate for whatever long, or because they're running after material stuff while you're running after peace of mind or nirvana or whatever. And this is a thing. This is a very harmful belief. It is a belief that stops your progress, like a brick wall. This is just your ego coming in through the back door and saying, oh, look, I'm the best. Like people have these, ladies, you might not understand. Men, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Men have these dick comparing contest. Mine is bigger than yours. Yeah. And, the dick comparing contest might be like, my car is bigger than yours, my house is bigger than yours. And the spiritual version of this is, my spiritual dick is bigger than yours. Which is, I meditate longer than you, or my guru is better than yours. Or I practice real traditional Eastern meditation while you're just a new agey loser. And this is the same ego coming in from the back door, except it's more dangerous this time because you're like, oh, I'm spiritual, look at me, I'm spiritual. And in fact, you're not. You've come in the grip of the ego. You're acting like an idiot, but your ego pretends you're so spiritual. La 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 la. And so this belief that you're better than other people because you meditate, or because you're on the path while they're just materialistic, it's very arrogant. And you're not better than other people just because you're spiritual. You are not more spiritual, you're not more advanced than they are. Each one of us has our own path, our own spiritual path, our own journey to complete. Your journey is different from mine. Mine is different from the person next to me and the person next to them. For some people, it might be meditating for 2 hours a day. Or for other people, it might be going out into the world and, acting with love and compassion. For someone else, it might be acting bravely because, their core is, they're scared inside, so going out and acting brave. For some people, just, doing something that makes them comfortable. Going to work every day might be their biggest challenge. For other people, their challenge might be physical. They have to do physical labor. For other people, challenges might be emotional. They suppress their emotions, or they're too weak with their emotions, or they have very violent emotions. They have to struggle with those emotions. So other people, the challenges might be mental. They're not very good at thinking, or they think too much. If somebody's suffering from emotional pain, their emotions are out of control. Maybe listening to TikTok or watching YouTube videos is the most spiritual thing they can do. Because remember, spirituality is about raising your consciousness. If your consciousness is going down into dullness and stupidity, the Gita says that, I don't want to go to Gitas too much, but the metaphysics of the Gita, but it says there are 3 qualities of nature. There's dullness and stupidity, there's sort of passion and energy in the world, and then there's spiritual energy. So it says you cannot go from dullness, stupidity, arrogance, hate, directly to the spiritual energy. You have to go via the middle path, which is the path of passion and work, and workings in the world for, might be for money or for just to do your duty correctly. So there are these 3, you have to pass through stages, and the best is always to keep your consciousness as high as you can. So if you're going into dullness, you're going into anger and hate and disgust, those are the most harmful emotions. They're like acid for your soul. So if you're stuck in such a state, then just watching YouTube videos or watching TikTok videos is a excellent thing, because at least you're not going down, right? You're staying at the human level. You're not going down into this hateful animal-like state, demonic state, you can call it. Yeah. So for each person, they have their own path, their own journey, and they have to walk their own journey. And I don't know what your journey is. You don't know what mine is. And you cannot judge someone just because they're watching TikTok videos for 4 hours that they're not spiritual. We don't know what somebody else's path is. And, one of the most dangers of the spiritual path is this judgment, this constantly the mind, the ego judges others. Oh, look at that person, look at that person. He's always running after money, what a bastard he is. Oh, look at her, look at how she's dressed. My mother would never let me dress like that. Oh, look at that guy, he's always just showing off with his money. Oh, look at that guy, he's just so selfish. And the ego is constantly judging people, always trying to, bring other people down a notch so it can make itself feel better. That's why these shitty reality TV shows are so popular, because people watch them and say, oh, my life might be messed up, but at least I'm better than those people on TV. And the ego always likes to do that, always likes to bring other down to make itself feel stronger. And this is a very harmful thing, because one, you're boosting the ego, and second, the people you're judging, people you're hating and treating with contempt, they are your spiritual brothers and sisters. They have the same divine spark in them that you have, and by attacking them, you're actually attacking yourself. You're attacking the God, the divine spirit that lives in you. And that's why this judgment is so harmful, so dangerous. And when people turn to spirituality, they bring this disgusting habit of judging others to the spiritual world. So when they're materialistic, they were saying, oh, that guy's so selfish. Now that they're spiritual, they're like, oh, this guy, he doesn't meditate, he's so unspiritual. That same judgmental and hateful feelings that you had in the material world, you brought them to the spiritual world. You're still judging your fellow brothers and sisters by their actions instead of doing your own work. Every time you feel that you're better than somebody, my advice to you is, who the hell are you to judge anyone? They have their own path, you have your own path. Follow your own path and don't look at what others are doing. It doesn't matter if they're not meditating. You're not their boss, you're not their guru. You're not their teacher. And I find that people whose own lives are messed up are very quick to judge others. And it's the same in the spiritual path. People who themselves are not meditating or have done little meditation and study start feeling, oh, look at me, I meditated for 5 minutes, now I'm a enlightened guru. They're the ones quickly to judge others. While those who have been path for a long time, we know how hard it is and how hard it is to stick with meditation, how hard it is to even start and I know how much, what's the word should I use? How much pain there is on the path, how much struggle there is on the path. It's a path of, sometimes called a warrior's path. And it is a warrior's path because you have to constantly fight your own negativity, the negativity of the world, your own negativity, all that hate and self-loathing. You have to constantly fight that and act in the world. And then you have to, if you have time, you have to meditate as well. It's a very hard path. I don't want the whole world working on this path because they're not ready for it. When they're ready, they will walk. But the spirit, the universal intelligence is working on everyone. And it's trying to bring everyone to that stage where they can do it. But that doesn't mean everybody can do it or they want to do it. Why should we force others to walk this path if they're not ready for it or if they don't want to? It's a free country, it's a free choice, it's a free world. Respect others' right to do what the hell they want with their life, and they will respect your right. You're not better than other people because you meditate, and they don't. So this judgmental, this ego's attempt to make itself bigger by pushing other down. Be very careful for it that it doesn't come in back from the back door. Always be on your guard and always treat everyone as a fellow spiritual brother and sister. There's nothing, the spiritual world is very strange. Somebody, who's murdered hundreds of people, or, who's a mass murderer or a rapist, he or she has as much chance of becoming spiritually enlightened as, somebody who's been meditating for 100 years. The Indian saint Valmiki, he was a thief and a murderer before he became a saint. And from the spirit's point of view, from the point of view of the universal intelligence, we are all equal. There's no one is special amongst us. A Course in Miracles says all of children's God are special, but none of them are special. So we are all special. We all have the divine spark in us. But we're also not special because everyone has a spark. Everyone has the same rights and the same powers of the divine to guide their own spiritual progress. And everybody is doing it already. Just because we can't see it, you see somebody who's on TikTok all day or playing video games or taking selfies, with that film, and you think they're not spiritual at all. How do you know? Do you know what their challenges are? Because the universal intelligence creates personal course for each student. And it's very arrogant for us to think that we are better than them. We are not. So summarize. Don't judge your fellow brothers and sisters. Treat everyone with respect, and remember, each one of us have our own journey. We should only focus on our own journey and leave the other people to their own, because the universal intelligence is helping them too. That's it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening.